Hello, this is lecture number 5 of the Fine Art Music lectures. This is going to be about dynamics and voices. Before we get started, just a reminder that you should be writing all of this information down, not only the stuff that you see down there, but also all of the stuff that you hear me say. This is all important stuff for class, so make sure and pay attention. So, on today's agenda, we're going to talk about dynamics, remember, which is the volume of music, the terms and symbols associated with those. We're going to talk about voice types, the 4 different kind of human voice types, vocal color and timbre, and just a little bit about vocal technique. So that's all singing stuff. So dynamics and singing. Let's get started. So as you probably remember from the elements of music, dynamics is the volume, loud or soft, of sound. The 2 most basic ones to remember, if these are the 2 that you should probably commit to memory first, because they'll make all the rest of them a lot easier, are forte, which is the symbol for that is just an F, and then piano, which the symbol is a P. Pretty simple. Forte means loud, piano means soft. These are Italian terms. All of these dynamic terms and symbols are all based in Italian. So again, forte means loud, and piano means soft. So there you go. However you need to remember that. And then from there, and then the other one, growing louder. So if we start soft and we get loud, it's going to be a crescendo. And if we're going to start loud and gradually get softer, so to turn down the volume, so to speak, it's going to be diminuendo. So growing louder is crescendo, and getting softer is diminuendo. Diminuendo is also from the same root word as diminished, diminishing, so it's getting softer. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about dynamics here. So aside from our forte, which is loud, and our piano, which is soft, we have the sort of extremes of those. We have fortissimo, which is 2 Fs. It's very loud. And then we have pianissimo, which is 2 Ps, which is very, very soft. And then we sort of have the moderate dynamics. We put a mezzo in front of either forte or piano to make it moderate. So, for example, moderately loud would be mezzo forte, or MF, and then moderately soft would be mezzo piano, which would be marked by an MP. And the reason that we have these symbols is so that when composers and arrangers write these on a piece of music, on a piece of sheet music, they don't have to write out all the letters mezzo, forte, or something. They just write a MF, and that sort of condenses it nicely for the musicians to understand. And then the last of the dynamics is sforzando, which is marked by an SFZ. That means suddenly loud. So that's a really sudden pop of loudness. So as you can see on the bottom there, it says dynamics from softest to loudest, softest being pianissimo, then piano, then a little bit louder with mezzo piano. Mezzo forte is a little louder than that, forte, and then fortissimo. Oh, looks like I left forte off there. Oops. Okay, so here it is again, just because this is really important stuff. So you look on the bottom there, see we have as pianissimo as possible, 3 Ps at the softest, and then up towards the top there, getting the loudest, 3 Fs. So, and then in the middle we have our mezzos, and on the extreme ranges, top and bottom, we have our issimos, our fortissimo, and our pianissimo. So there you go. That is dynamics. So, timbre is one of the elements of music that we talked about in the elements of music lecture, and that doesn't only apply to instruments. It of course applies to voices as well. Remember this, timbre is the word that is synonymous with color. It means the same thing, tone color, and timbre are the same thing. So there are 4, so everybody has a different timbre of their voice, of course, but all voices fall into one of 4 categories, and they're based on how high or low you can sing. So those four from highest to lowest are soprano being the highest, mezzo-soprano being the second highest, tenor being just below that, and then bass being the very lowest. So again, from highest to lowest, it's soprano being highest, mezzo-soprano, which is also known as alto, and then tenor, which is lower than that, and then bass, which is the lowest of all. So again, those are based on range, and no matter what style of music you sing, everyone has one of these four voice types. Okay? And so men will always be either a tenor or a bass. So if they have a higher male voice, kind of like this, they will be a tenor. But if they have a very low, super manly voice, they will be a bass. And then women will either be a soprano, like my wife, who sings soprano. She's a super high voice. Or a mezzo-soprano, which is also known as alto. So if you're a woman with a really high voice, you're a soprano. If you're a woman with a lower voice, you're a mezzo-soprano. If you're a man with a high voice, you're a tenor. And if you're a man with a low voice, you're a bass. So no matter what style of music you sing, you're one of those four voice types. So here we go. A chorus is when we have all those four voice types singing together. It's also known as a choir. As you can see in our little picture down there, we have men and women of all different voice types singing together. So there you go. A chorus or a choir is when all those voice types sing together. So as I alluded to earlier, it doesn't matter what style of singing you do. If you like singing pop music, opera, blues, pop, jazz, whatever, you're always going to have one of those four voice types, and the principles of singing are going to remain the same. The only thing that's really different is your training and, of course, the physical characteristics of how you decide to sing. So how you manipulate the lungs, the vocal cords, the throat, the nose, the mouth, all that kind of stuff, the chest cavity, everything, to maximize sound or create your own stylistically appropriate sound for whatever kind of music you're singing. So there you go. So recap what we talked about in this lecture here. We talked about dynamics, the volume, various volume levels in music, the terms and symbols associated with those, fortes and pianos and all that stuff. We talked about the four different voice types, 2 for men, 2 for women. We talked about chorus and choir, and just a little bit about vocal technique. So that is all for now. As you can see down there, I have a little example of a piece of music with some dynamics written in the bottom. You can see the P and the F and the P, and a little explanation there. So that's it for now for dynamics and vocal color. See you next time.